Zach, short answer is yes. There's a longer answer, which is a conversation for another day. I think when I say talk about we have to learn from this, I think given the frequency of these extreme weather situations that we've had, and I believe it's an increasing frequency, for us to sit here today and say, well, this is once in a generation and it's not going to happen again, I think would be short-sighted. And I think we need to anticipate more of these extreme weather type situations in the future. And we have to take that into consideration in reforming, modifying our infrastructure, our built environment. This city, this region is very susceptible to coastal flooding. It's not something that we've had to deal with historically with any frequency whatsoever. So we're not built in a way that has the built-in protections. Other parts of the country live with flooding, live with flooding of rivers or coastal flooding, and they design their space that way. We've not done that. I think it's a longer conversation, but I think part of learning from this is the recognition that climate change is a reality, extreme weather is a reality, it is a reality that we are vulnerable, and if we're going to do our job as elected officials, we're going to need to think about how to redesign or as we go forward, make the modifications necessary so we don't incur this type of damage. You know, the tunnels, once the water is over the banks, and I was out there that night, and the Hudson River was intent on meeting the East River, and it was coming right across Manhattan. It fills all the infrastructure we have in this city, all this great infrastructure, which is below ground. In many cases, it was an engineering marvel that helped build the city, now becomes a liability because it all fills with water. We don't have any built-in pumping capacity in the tunnel system. The electrical equipment in many cases is in the tunnel system, and now you have a serious problem, which is what we're experiencing. And we're doing a great job building out from that. But I would expect a situation like this to recur, and I think we need a systemic solution long-term, because this is really a long-term issue. Laura? Look, climate change is a controversial subject, right? People will debate whether or not there is climate change, whether or not it's a cycle, whether it's global warming. That's a whole political debate that I don't want to get into. I want to talk about the frequency of extreme weather situations, which is not political. The frequency of extreme weather situations is way up, right? We just went through Hurricane Irene just over a year ago. And there's only so long you can say, well, this is once in a lifetime and it will never happen again. And then it happens again. And then we say, well, this is once in a lifetime. Now, really, for sure, it's not going to happen again. And then it happens again. I joke that every 2 years we have a 100-year flood. The frequency is way up. It is not prudent to sit here, I believe, at this point and say, well, it's not going to happen again. I believe it is going to happen again. I pray that it's not. I believe that it is. And once you cross that bridge, if you will, once you have that recognition, then what are you doing about it? And what design changes, what construction changes are you making to deal with it? It is a reality that I think has becoming clearer and clearer to more and more people every day. But do I believe the nation has arrived at this as a consensus? No. Senator?
Yeah, I would just say, look, we're going to pay a price for the change in climate one of two ways. We're either going to have to just totally readapt our city. We have low-lying areas of water. Do we need levees? As the governor mentioned, the subways were never designed for water coming up and going on into them. He brought up something to us on the helicopter that he didn't realize. Even if you block the entrances, there are so many grates because of ventilation that you can't stop the water from flowing in. Or we can take the bull by the horns and deal with the issue. I don't think the federal government has done enough. I think there are a group of people in Washington right now who just deny the truth. And there is, in my judgment anyway, a relationship between all these once-in-a-lifetime storms that we experience every couple of years and what's going on in the atmosphere. And the best way to deal with that, and the least costly in the long run, is to grab the bull by the horns and actually do things that prevent the climate from changing and global warming from occurring. I'm hopeful that given all the changes in weather, it will importune at least a majority in Congress to do that. Otherwise, we're going to keep facing costs that don't do us any good, such as, the billions of dollars that this event is going to cost us, and that Irene cost us, and that Katrina cost us, and that other storms of almost certain increasing frequency will cost us.